Differences Part 2 by Kate Whitford. This week, in the second of two talking about differences posts, I'm looking at idioms and other phrases that are used for saying that things or people are different, starting with a very common phrase, someone or something that is nothing like or not anything like. Someone or something else is not at all similar to them. It was described on the menu a pastry, but it was nothing like pastry. Let's see this word, how to pronounce it.
Pesto.
It's pesto. That can't be an Anna in the photo. It doesn't look anything like her. You can say that there's a world of difference between two things or situations to emphasize how very different they are. Of course, there's a world of difference between visiting a place for a day and actually living there. If something a far cry from something, from something else, it is very different from it. This idiom is used, for example, to contrast wealth with poverty or success with failure. He lives in a shabby one-bedroom apartment just outside the city. It's a far cry from the mansion he used to inhabit. See this one? If you say that a situation is a whole new or different ball game, I think it's ball game, you mean it is very different from and often more challenging than another situation. Previously, I only had 3 people on my team. Now, with 20 staff to manage, it is a whole different ball game. I think it's ball game. Let's see how to pronounce it.
Ball game.
Ball game. If 2 people are like chalk and cheese, UK, they are completely different from each other, often in character, more poetically. 2 things or experiences that are completely different are sometimes said to be like night and day, or as different as night and day. Often this suggests that one experience is very much better than the other. Yeah, you'd never guess they were brothers. They are like chalk and cheese. I mean, we're chalk and cheese, but we get on really well. We get on really well. We get on. Anyone would have noticed the improvement. It was like night and day. The phrase apples and oranges is often used when people want to convey that 2 things are so different they cannot usefully be compared. Their styles are so different. It would be like comparing apples and oranges. These are 2 entirely different products. It's like apples and oranges. Sometimes people or things are so different they are the opposite of each other. The phrase polar opposite and polis apart are both used to emphasize that 2 people or things are the complete opposite of each other. Politically, they are polar opposite. Let's see this, how to pronounce it. Yeah?
Polar.
Polar. Okay, polar. In their values and aspirations, they were polars apart. Polars. Finally, to conclude this post, there's the expression opposites attract, meaning that we are naturally attracted to people who are very different from us. I'd be interested to hear below if you have the same expression in your language. I think we have. Pause and have another article. Okay. In for a penny, in for a pound. Idioms in the Thursday Murder Club. Patricia Ferraz. Brush up on your English through your love of reading. In this post, we highlight interesting phrases and idioms from the oh god, what was happening here? Of reading in the post, we highlight interesting phrases and idioms from the popular mystery novel, the, the Thursday Murder Club. If you like mysteries and unusual detectives, you'll love this bestseller by Richard Osman, which is soon to be made into a film by Steven Spielberg, I suppose. Let's go into it. The Thursday Murder Club takes place in a sleepy retirement village. Four friends in their 70s and 80s become unlikely detectives when a real murder happens on their doorstep. This mystery will keep you guessing till the very last page. The Thursday Murder Club is rich in colorful language, especially idioms. Let's look at some of the ones used in this exciting story. Joyce, Elizabeth, Abraham, and Ron, our food detectives, are committed to solving the case. In for, in for a penny, in for a pound. This idiom is used to say, if you start something, you need to finish it, even if it's more complicated than you'd expected. Interestingly, it's used in US English as well. No need to change pounds to dollars. Solving mysteries might not float your boat, but Elizabeth, the leader of the group, loves being a detective. If something floats your boat, you like or are interested in it. This idiom is mainly used informally. Let's see this word, how to pronounce it.
Detective.
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 Detective. It's hard for me. Not all detectives are the same. Some detectives are fantastic for running rings around others. If someone runs rings around you, they're much better at doing something than you are. Chris and Donna, police officers on the case, on the case, have to be really careful. If they don't keep an eye on the Thursday Murder Club members, those four will have a field day. Trying to solve the crime and maybe get in the way of the professionals. This idiom is used to say that someone is taking full advantage of an opportunity. Some detectives are like a bull in a china shop. If you like a bull in a china shop, you are careless in how you move or behave. Not our team, though. They find out who's guilty before the end. Will you? Not sure. Let's stop it and read another article. Yep. How to stay motivated during the pandemic. What you told us and why it matters. What is going on in here? Motivation for language learning has changed during the pandemic, mainly because a lot of it has moved online. But how do students feel about the changes and what is motivation anyway? There are about as many definitions of motivation as there are English language learners. However, whatever you look at, at it, there are certain key elements that make people engage in motivated behavior, whether it is learning a language or even getting out of bed in the morning. The best conditions for learning English are fulfilled when we feel competent, I suppose. Competent? See,
Competent.
competent, and autonomous. Yeah, let's see this word too.
Autonomous.
Autonomous and connected with others. It also helps if we feel that what we're learning is relevant to us personally. We are curious about finding out more, and most of all, we enjoy what we are doing. For many learners and teachers, the global pandemic has meant a shift from face to online learning. We at the Cambridge Dictionary asked English language learners from all around the world what effect the new ways of learning have had on their motivation, and more than 1,000 of you got back to us. Together with time management and communication, learners felt that keeping up their motivation under the new conditions was among the top 3 challenges. Rather unsurprisingly, they found speaking by far the hardest skill to practice at home. But it's not all bad news, although students were less motivated than before the pandemic. Most of them felt their motivation had only dropped by a little. They appreciated being able to study when they wanted to and having access to a wide range of resources from the internet. This ties in with the theory of the motivating effects of a sense of autonomy, making choices about your own learning and relevance, the perceived usefulness of what you study. Students liked activities which gave them instant feedback on tasks, since this allowed them to see their results and progress more clearly than they were able to previously. This aligns with our inbuilt need to feel competent at, I think it's competent, I forget, I can't see it now, at what we are doing, or at least to feel that we are getting somewhere. Let's see, it's a link, I can't. A popular video sharing website and an online conferencing platform were the most commonly used online tools and the most helpful ones for learners. Unlike video sharing sites, conferencing platforms are content free. They are purely digital tools that allow learners and teachers to meet and interact online. The fact that learners rate a content-free conference tool so highly supports the idea that connection with others is helpful for staying motivated. So if you feel your motivation levels are dropping when learning remotely, what should you do? See this word?
Remotely.
Yeah, it's remotely. 14 minutes. Use the insights from motivation theory as well as the very good and practical advice from our survey participants. No, I don't want to use this. In choosing your platforms and materials, be guided by your natural interest and curiosity, making sure that what you are learning is actually useful to you. Structure your learning, setting yourself small and achievable goals so that you feel a sense of satisfaction and progress, and hopefully a desire to go on. When you've ticked them off your list, don't forget, you are in charge. You choose when, where, and even what you're learning, exercising agency and control. don't struggle on your own. Connect with your friends and your teacher for some support as well as for some much needed laughs. Pick activities and content you enjoy. This may include playing games, but not necessarily so. In our survey, the motivating effects of games and competitions declined with age. You know yourself best. You do you, and most of all enjoy. What she's doing here, I don't know. I think I have to close this, or I need another article. Let's see if there's on. I think I have to close it. I'm not gonna close this one.